Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the United States. This is the Gaming Saloon for May 19th, 2018. With your host, Peacemaker2448 and Rapid Epsilon.
Hi.
I don't know why I derped on what month it is.
Because reasons?
Yep.
We'll go with that one, I guess.
Yep. Oh boy. The Nintendo rumors.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, we got more rumors about that Star Fox game, and it makes it sound worse? Worse? I'm willing to say worse. Let's see, there's that. There's someone using the exact same style of rumor to say, hey, here's the lineup of the Direct, which sounds like bullshit. We're not talking about that one.
Which pretty much it always does.
Yep. It was the same for... How the fuck did someone think that would actually work?
It's a good question.
Let's see, there's that. The Kingdom Hearts 3 premiere that I got footage of yesterday. All of the footage, and it all looks great and wonderful. And I haven't heard from BizKid, because he hasn't put his video out yet talking about the premiere event. But it sounds like from his initial tweets, it sounds good. There might be some problems, but overall it's good, so yay!
Fingers crossed for good.
Okay, if Biscuit says good, who's a speedrunner, and I say that because he knows the the mechanics of Kingdom Hearts games way, way, way more than anyone should. Because of having to speedrun the games. So if he says it's good, then by God, mechanically it is really good then.
But, okay. To this, I'm also going to say, he is more than likely going to look at it from a speedrunner sense, aka story can be complete and utter garbage, and he could still say it's good.
Right. But I've accepted the fact that the Kingdom Hearts story is nonsense, so I'm okay with that.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Story for 3 could be completely redacting everything up to this point and trying to write its own thing, and from a speedrunner sense, story doesn't matter.
Alright. As far as I know, the story seems that, as far as I know, they're wanting to go, alright, we're wrapping things up. This is gonna be it in terms of this whole Xehanort saga that they called it. So we're wrapping shit up. We're gonna be referencing a whole bunch of shit. We're gonna hope you've been paying attention, because otherwise you're gonna be lost as fuck. Good luck to you Xbox owners who are picking up Kingdom Hearts for the first time with 3. Have fun figuring out everything when you have no context, because, none of the games have come to your console.
See, that's the issue I have. They should have done the HD re-releases for the Xbox One also if they had plans on 3 coming to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get not having them release at the same time if you weren't 100%, but it doesn't take much to throw it to a company that specializes in porting games and just say do it.
Yeah, and they've already ported 1.5, 2.5 as one set to PlayStation 4, so everything's on PlayStation 4 now, in case you're wondering, folks. You can literally play the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts saga on the PlayStation 4 right now. Thank God. And apparently that port's the superior port for 2 at least, because it fixes a bunch of stuff. There's still some meh things there, but it's still good. But yeah, as far as I know, the story is fine. There's just the whole big question I have of, wait a minute, when we go adventuring with Woody and Buzz, that's canon to the Toy Story storyline?
Wait, really?
Yes. Legitimately. When you when you are playing with Buzz and Woody in Toy Story and in the Toy Story world, that is legitimately in canon with the movies. And it's before 3. So when you watch Toy Story 3 now, remember, Woody and Buzz fought a bunch of Heartless before that movie started. Oh.
I mean,
Let me bring...
I guess I could see that working. I still feel like that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I guess I could see that working too.
To be fair, this is not a question on anyone else's part. No, this is legitimately something. I want to say it was either Pixar, somebody from Pixar, or somebody from Square Enix said. I want to say it's somebody from Pixar said, yeah, legitimately this is in canon with the Toy Story story. This legitimately happened, and I'm like, why? Like, why? Every other time some franchise has been introduced in the Kingdom Hearts for the first time, they've just redid their story that we already know. You're the only one wanting to do something new. Like, literally, Monsters Inc. is literally just the first movie. As far as I know. Anyway. I guess before we get into a lot of this stuff proper, Tommy, what have you been playing these last couple weeks?
I think we all pretty much know. Pretty much the bulk of it has been the Link to the Past randomizer.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I've not really been doing much. I mean, the Odyssey Bingo / Festival percent that I did the other day was kind of about the only other thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have Ultra Sun now, and I played about 5 minutes of it. I haven't went back more because I've mainly been focusing on XGU. I'm through to Volume 2 right now, and I'm working through Volume 2 and doing a whole bunch of completion stuff there because it doesn't take that long. I literally put in, I think, 20, a little around 30 hours for Volume 1 and got everything in the game. So it shouldn't take me that long to do Volume 2 and Volume 3. But I will say, I've had no performance issues from Ultra Sun so far. In 5 minutes gameplay, mind you, but... No issues yet.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Also, out of curiosity, did you fight a Did you have to fight a sparrow on the bridge in Pokemon Sun when you rescued Nebby?
Don't remember.
Because you have to fight that in Haru before you meet Lily and Nebby. Well, you have to fight a Spearow on the bridge to go to Nebby. And before that, you have to fight Haru with your starter.
Maybe?
I don't remember it going that way. This feels a lot quicker than the original game went.
I don't remember right offhand, and I wouldn't honestly know exactly for Sun because I picked up Moon. But
well, it should be the same.
Should still, I would think.
Yeah.
But I can't remember either way.
Yeah. That feels weird. What else have I played? I played a bit of the Splatfest today. I didn't play a whole lot. mainly because I just wasn't in the mood for it.
I've just
I
not
got.
really been in the mood for Splatoon 2 recently,
Mhm.
which is kind of odd. Not that I don't like the game, it's just I've not really been in the mood for it.
Yeah. I did not get me a shiny Charmander in Pokemon Go today because I didn't walk around and get one because I didn't feel like it, and also because I wasn't really getting any good spawns. So, and a little bit of walking I did do. I have my Wedding Peach and Wedding Bowser amiibo now, so all I'm waiting is on that Boblikin restock that should be happening. Because all the Breath of the Wild and all of the Odyssey amiibo are getting restocks. Because we got their safety certificates renewed recently. That's probably why the Odyssey amiibo have been showing up on Walmart, and I think Wedding Peach just showed up on GameStop like an hour or two ago. So I'm waiting on the Boblikin and then the 3 Splatoon 2 amiibo, and that catches me up on amiibo until whatever new things get announced at E3. Because I assume for Smash Brothers we're getting amiibo for all the new fighters, assuming we have more fighters than just the Inkling, which I would assume so. And God knows what else. Trying to think if there's anything else I haven't really played besides what's been played on stream. Not really. Outside of I can't get an emulator or Android emulator to work so I can play mobile games on my computer. All of them run for shit. No matter what settings I pick and what I do to try to get some performance out of it. Apparently, I think it's my processor's too old to run it, which sounds stupid in my opinion, but okay. Because I had more than enough RAM for this last emulator I tried running, but I think it's my CPU is not good enough to do this. I think. I'm not sure how all this works to start with. But I would say that is it. Hopefully we'll be done with Uncharted 4 next week, and I can move on to Lost Legacy, and that'll probably be done in about a week or so.
Hopefully.
Essentially take like the time it takes me to beat Uncharted 4 and like cut that in half, I would say, and that's about how long it's probably gonna take me to beat Lost Legacy. Because I think Lost Legacy is about half as long because it's essentially a big like single player expansion to Uncharted 4 that focuses on Chloe and shit, I can't remember her name. But the person that's in charge of Shoreline in Uncharted 4. The one that kicks Nate and Sam's ass all the time. Her. It's the two of them on a little mini adventure that like takes place after Uncharted 4. Anything else? Nope. So, shall we hit some articles?
I guess we shall hit some articles.
Well, first up, hey, Dolly, have you ever wanted to play Halo in arcade?
I can honestly say no.
Oh, well, we're getting a Halo arcade game.
Yay, I guess.
Halo Fireteam Raven is coming soon to anywhere that there is still an arcade near you. Essentially, it's a little on-rail shooter. And it's going to be pretty much a light gun game. Oh, ooh. It's the story of an ODST squad during Combat Evolved. The first one.
Hmm.
And it will be first to arrive at Dave & Buster's near you. Wherever there's a Dave & Buster's. I don't remember where my nearest Dave & Buster is.
Don't know, honestly.
The only Dave & Buster's I've been to, I believe, was in Florida. When I went for WrestleMania.
Hmm.
So, this is neat and cool and eh. Like, this isn't spectacular, but yeah. Moving on. So, how do you feel about that rumor that we had about COD dropping its single player in favor of a battle royale mode and its multiplayer being a lot more hero based?
Yeah.
How would you feel if that was true?
Yeah.
Well, from the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 reveal, spoilers, folks, that leak we talked about, or rumor, or whatever you want to call it, from like, I think a few weeks ago, is true!
That leakmer,
Yes.
for lack of a better term.
Black Ops 4's multiplayer is going back to boots on the ground, so no wall jumps, no jetpacks, you know, all that fancy fun movement tech that came in, I don't know, which of the Call of Duties introduced all that?
I think wasn't that Advanced Warfare that actually brought that in?
Probably.
The
Essentially,
not Halo Call of Duty game?
yeah, essentially all that movement tech that you could see clearly in Titanfall as well, yeah, that's gone. Nope, you're on the ground. But you know how in Call of Duty games your health auto regenerates?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. You have to stick yourself with a health potion and get yourself back up to health.
So closer to realistic?
Essentially, I don't think you have a health bar, but you still need to stick yourself to get yourself to like heal yourself.
But if you don't have a health bar, then how will you know when you do that?
I assume the usual blood screen effect thing. I think I don't remember seeing a health bar in any of the footage. Granted, all we did have was the one trailer. Oh no, there is a health bar. There, in fact, is a health bar. Good. I'm wrong. I'm
Good.
sorry. I didn't really get to see any multiplayer footage besides the quick glimpses you got in the fucking trailer. Because I actually sat down and watched the whole damn reveal. Hell, I didn't even see any zombies gameplay. All I saw was cuts. But yes, you do in fact have a health bar. All weapons have unique attachments. They can also have operator mods, which apparently can give you like special abilities like suppressing fire that can inhibit enemy vision as the gun lays down a salvo. You have predictive recoil. Essentially, it's really, really fancy, like, recoil system to make firing feel better, I guess. This seems like a really minute detail to really focus on that they spent like 5 minutes talking about.
Hmm.
And you will have classes that are specialists that can all do different stuff. But I did find out from a separate article that came out after the show that there will be some single player missions that essentially introduce you to the various specialists. So you can get used to all of the classes, I guess. There's still score streaks. Specialists have all sorts of different abilities. I think one has essentially a grappling hook that you can use to propel yourself forward. Zombies is back, and they're coming with, what was it? I believe we were getting 3 zombie maps at launch, 2 new maps, and I believe I think the third one it's either a sequel to a map from a previous zombies mode map, or it's a remake of one. They weren't clear on that, so I'm not sure. And I guess Game Informer's not sure either because they aren't clear on it either. But the other 2 maps, one has you in a Roman gladiatory arena with appropriate weapon for the time period, and the other has you on the Titanic. So have fun killing zombies before the ship sinks.
Oh, then.
And yes, there is in fact a Battle Royale mode. The map is apparently 1,500 times larger than your typical Call of Duty map, alongside characters from the entire Black Ops franchise, including zombies. It includes vehicles of all kinds, ground, sea, and air vehicles. And that was pretty much it. There was no gameplay shown of that. And not really any gameplay shown of zombies either.
So they're trying essentially to take all their resources and do a better plunk bat.
Yes.
This will fail.
Possibly.
No, not possibly. No, this will fail. Because honestly, at this point, the reason why Plunk Bat and Fortnite both are so big still is because they have enough of a player base that the ones basically putting content out there are going to keep people interested in playing because they want to play with the person they're watching at some point. Even though that may never happen, they want that chance.
Yep. For PC stuff, apparently this is going to be releasing on Battle.net. So, yay.
It doesn't surprise me.
No.
And they've kind of been pushing that direction.
Yep.
Because for some reason they don't like Steam anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get that.
Yep. There is no single player, but apparently they're weaving narrative and all of the other experiences. So the narrative thought that, or the narrative work that would have went into any of the other mode or into single player is going into every other mode. And I saw this article where I think it's somebody from Treyarch talking about this. They essentially went, okay, we looked at what people were playing in our Call of Duty games and no one was playing single player, so we took it out. As I believe the gist of the interview.
Okay, but to this I'm gonna say, you know why those numbers are gonna be so skewed? It comes down to, at this point, you've got people that buy Call of Duty just for the multiplayer. I'm not gonna say that's not a case. But then you've got people that might buy Call of Duty because of the multiplayer, but still are going to play the story first. When your story is so short that they spend most of their time with the game in the multiplayer instead, that's going to throw those numbers off. When you can put, and I'm probably being super generous on this, when you can put 5 hours into the game and beat the story, and the other of your 1,000 hours is in the multiplayer, of course the numbers are going to be skewed. It's one of those, it would be like, it would almost be like 343 saying, you know what, Halo 6, we're not doing a single player, we're just doing multiplayer. Because that's where everyone's going to be going. It's like, yeah, that's where the bulk of it is, but it's because how many times can you play the story and get a different outcome? Exactly.
Well, it probably also doesn't help that I distinctly noted this, that then when they were showing, like, this kind of through the history of Black Ops trailer, when Black Ops 1, single player and multiplayer footage, Black Ops 2, single player and multiplayer footage, Black Ops 3, I don't think there was a single bit of single player footage in there. I think that told me, oh, you don't want to talk about the single player of Black Ops 3, do you? Because I don't think anyone likes the Black Ops 3 single player at all.
I'm almost feeling like with this, that might be part of it, but the other part of it might be that they don't feel there's a way to redeem themselves for the story part of it. And that if that was the case, then that is kind of putting me in fear of what 343 might do with the Halo franchise going forward too. Because, you know, Halo 5 would be that same boat as Black Ops 3.
Yep.
And it's like, it wouldn't be a first time the 343's copied Call of Duty, so yikes. The one thing the smelly fish might do could do a ripple effect, and that might not be good.
Well, Battlefield, I believe, has a reveal next week, because literally Battlefield 5, I think it was your Dice or EA, whoever, fucking announced that Battlefield was going to have their reveal for Battlefield 5 literally the week after Call of Duty's. And I was like, timely, aren't we?
Like
it's
I
almost
said,
like you're trying to compete with each other.
Like I said, ripple effect. We'll have some kind of announcement about Halo 6 at E3, I guarantee it.
Yeah, we are long overdue
Well,
for some type of Halo news.
Well, it's not so much that. As you just pointed out, EA throwing the next Battlefield out there right after Activision did with Call of Duty. Yeah, 343 is going to throw Halo into the mix too, because why not have all three compete again?
Yeah.
Even though I think at this point in terms of shooter games, they're kind of losing their placeholder for the top. And it's partially thanks to Plunkbat and Fortnite. Which, to that I say, good. It's about time we got something different in there. But the problem with that is we're also going to have, as Activision has threw in everyone's face now, those three are going to try to copy. There's no way around that. It wouldn't surprise me if both Battlefield and Halo, for the next installments of both, have some kind of Battle Royale mode too. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Because why not? Let's all jump on this hype train and see what we can get going.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they could have revealed anything at this Call of Duty reveal to get me interested. Mostly because I don't think I'm in the mood for a first-person shooter these days. And it might have been that I was just burnt out on first-person shooters. And I'm still burnt out on first-person shooters.
I think I'm in the same boat, but not for the same reason. I think what more happened with me was, in all seriousness, seeing what happened with both Halo 4 and 5. 4 with the multiplayer, 5 with the story, and realizing that, you know, I think right now everyone's just trying to go for cash grab. They're not actually trying to be creative and put effort into the games. And that's an issue there.
I'm trying to think of the last first-person shooter I've actually played and or bought. And the only thing that comes to mind is Infinite, but that might not be the last one. And that says a lot when I'm like, oh yeah, Bioshock Infinite was the last first-person shooter I played. Boy.
Trying to think from my side of it too. Dang. I mean, maybe outside of our one-off Payday 2 stuff.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that'd be the oldest.
But I think outside of that,
Or the last.
I think outside of that, the last that I've probably done was Halo 4. Now that I'm thinking about it. Well, no, I gotta change that. Destiny 2.
Oh, I haven't played. Nope, mine was Destiny 1. I have not touched Destiny 2. Mostly because everything I keep seeing from it makes me go, nope, don't care. Super don't care.
Honestly, I felt it was fine at least up to the DLC point. I can't speak for past that.
From everything I've heard, nope. Not really. If you weren't invested in Destiny 2 pre-DLC, you're not going to be invested in it post-DLC.
It felt to me like it was good to push through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't have a problem pushing through it. The issue was when I hit that paywall super hard there. And I'm like, that's when I started reevaluating things, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can't justify doing the DLC. So that's one of those I might not ever wind up finding out firsthand on the DLC train that is Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Honestly, from what I've seen from the DLCs, you can really break it down to the rates have been good to great. The single player stuff has been at best. And loot wise, it's been to be expected.
See, what kind of gets me is I understand they're doing it to make money. Don't get me wrong. But I think there should be some kind of a way to maybe not give the rewards from it, but at least let people kind of play parts of the DLC. Like, for instance, the raids. If someone in the group has access to them through the DLC. Do something like Payday 2 does. Because that's a good system, and quite frankly, I feel like that will prompt people to buy it and kind of dive into the DLC a little bit more. The issue I see with that though is they won't do it, and that's kind of going to be that downfall there. But yeah, we derailed so hard.
Yep.
Shall we move on to some Switch related information?
Yeah.
With some
So,
Pokemans?
yeah. Okay, so if you've heard us talk about the Switch Pokemon in the last week or so, really, yeah, that that is looking to be very much what we're going to get announced. Probably by the end of the month. It seems like we're going to get this announcement pre E3, or at least a confirmation pre E3 with a full showcase at the Direct. So, just to recap the rumor for any of those who are coming into this blind, which, I wonder how the hell you came into this blind.
I
So,
don't know.
all right.
It could be fairly easy because I know in terms of YouTube, I've been seeing a lot of basically everyone thinking Pokemon for Switch is going to be like post-apocalyptic stuff and really like off the wall stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, I could see that.
Where the fuck is where?
Uh
Okay,
huh.
where are people getting this from?
Yeah, that's what I would love to know too.
Do they not understand how Pokemon works? Pokemon is geographical based for its regions. Like every region in Pokemon is based on some type of geographical location.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't say they were good.
I I could tell.
A lot of them, I would purposely watch the video just to kind of see what kind of stupid bull they were trying to throw,
Yep. Okay.
and to try to figure out how much of it I could disprove really quickly.
Yep.
It's
So
one of those. The videos present good ideas that I kind of would be fine with them doing at some point, but no, not gonna happen. Not right now, anyhow.
mhm. So Tuesday, a news article, well, essentially a post on 4chan started making the rounds to a lot of news outlets that essentially said this is what Switch Pokemon is going to be. It will be Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, two versions, no surprise there. They are essentially going to be yellow remakes for the Switch. Red and
I
blue,
think more reimaginings though.
more than likely. But I'm just saying, I'm listing off what the rumor said.
True.
Red and blue are going to play a role in the story. You and your rival are new trainers. Uh, your Pokemon will follow you, much like in Heart Gold Soul Silver. Yay. A lot of people have been requesting that. And from the Sun and Moon data, that's something they probably have been trying to do for a while now.
But probably couldn't
HM,
because of hardware limitation.
more than likely. HMs are still replaced with the Poké Rides from Alola. Yay, good. It's good that HMs are gone. And there is an online hub for players.
AKA what we've already seen with Sun and Moon.
Yep.
Just, I would imagine that it being on the Switch probably would be a little more interactive.
I assume, like, do you know the hubs for Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle?
No.
Essentially, think of a big room that you can maneuver around in and go talk to people. Actually, be there, standing there, and you can like go to stations and battle.
So basically, any kind of a hub city in any kind of MMO.
Exactly. Essentially, that's what I assume is what we're going to be getting.
I would be
There will
cool with that.
Yep, there will be Pokemon Go integration. Catching Pokemon works like in Go. Rewards in-game and in Go for linking the two together. New accessory can be used with both Go and the games. Announcement soon, and it releases this year. This came Tuesday.
The Go
When?
the Go related stuff is where I've officially lost interest.
Yep. Now, I know everyone here listening is probably going to go, well, it's E3 season. Plenty of rumors are going to come out that are absolutely fucking fake. We had this past week someone do the exact same style of leak for the direct lineup, Nintendo Direct's lineup that was done last year. Same paper, same everything. Well, Wednesday, the same company that registered the domains for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company registered domains for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And as I found out from listening to a Game Explained video, the Pokemon Twitter account and the Pokemon Company have been pushing Eevee and Pikachu together for a while now. Like, months. So, yeah. These are legitimate. Which is why we're talking about them.
Honestly, even if they hadn't have been pushing Eevee hard for it, it would make sense. If they're gonna do Yellow as the base for the reimagining to bring it to the Switch, he could choose the obvious because that was his game. And honestly, Eevee would be, because that's probably one of the most well-known Gen 1 Pokemon that is still relevant all the way through every gen.
Yeah. And I didn't know this, and I probably forgot about it because it's been forever since I think I've actually played Yellow, because I think I had a copy of Yellow from back in the day. Your rival actually picks an Eevee.
I feel like I knew that, but I don't remember playing Yellow.
Yeah, I feel like I've played Yellow, but again, it's been since the game came out and I played it that I have played Yellow, so
I'm trying to. I know why I feel like I know that, because I do know that. I had Yellow on the 3DS.
Ah, that would be why.
Yep. Because I remembered picking that up because of the Pokemon Bank stuff.
Yep. So, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and go, this sounds like this is going to turn out to be the worst ever. Maybe it won't. Because really the only thing in theory that is worrisome here is the catching Pokemon like in Go part. That line right there is the most worrisome and scares me the most more than anything. Because that tells me that they might be learning the wrong lessons from Pokemon Go.
Well, okay. Herein lies another issue that I can foresee here. Going forward, we know Pokemon Bank's going to be able to work with it.
Yeah.
As it currently stands, Go is a standalone title that has no integration with Pokemon Bank, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They would have to build that into the app too if they want it to be as tight as this is making it sound. So I'm almost feeling like that part of it might be a little bit of a stretch. It might not be a complete incorrect statement, but it's at least a stretch. I feel like there probably will be some kind of Pokemon Go and Pokemon Switch integration, because that's just obvious. Why not do that? Give people rewards for doing certain things in one in the other. I mean, the thing that I think might be the stretch is the way that they're saying about catching Pokemon. I might could see one of those perks being like, uh, maybe in Pokemon Go you could send a Pokemon you have there over to the Switch title,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe have it set up to where maybe Pokemon Go does have access to the Pokemon Bank, but it works different. Rather than being able to get any Pokemon, you still have to confine to what the app can handle, but you could send anything from the Pokemon Go app to the bank and get in the Switch. You see what I'm saying? Kind of treat that as level playing field where you could trade back and forth between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, case in point, look at a lot of the beginning Pokemon encounters in any Pokemon game. You run into the same one repeatedly. So why not give yourself a benefit by catching them, sending them to the bank, picking them up and go, and leveling up your Pokemon Go Pokemons?
Yeah.
That would save people from having to hunt them down and go by being able to play the Switch game and vice versa.
Yeah. Especially since some Pokemon in Pokemon Go are region locked. You have to be in a specific region of the fucking world to get, and yeah, no.
And see that would break that region lock area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see something like that working. I can't foresee them saying Pokemon on Switch is gonna be you have to catch 50 Pikachus to turn it into a Raichu. I'm sorry, I can't see that happening.
Yeah, I think, and Game Explain brought this up, and it's probably what it is, because apparently there was some leaked screenshot of a possible Pokemon game that wasn't Sun and Moon, but it kind of looked like Sun and Moon. And essentially, they were just Pokemon out in the water. So let's say you see a Gyarados in the water. You can go bump into that Gyarados and you can try to catch that Gyarados. Or, I don't know, I guess out in the forest, you see a Pidgey. Well, you can go bump in that Pidgey and go catch it. So you can go and chase after the actual Pokemon you want and not just be bumbling around in the grass and then suddenly you just have a random encounter and another random encounter. No, you can actually go and hunt Pokemon.
Which, that's yet another thing that I think Pokemon on Switch would be more than capable of doing. Basically, turning it into a, for all intents and purposes, because we really don't have a better game to compare to, a Breath of the Wild style Pokemon game.
I would say a modern RPG because modern RPGs remove random encounters and just go, all right, if you run into an enemy, you are going to battle it. If you, as long as you don't run into the enemy and piss them off, you're not battling.
Well, that's why I was kind of more mentioning about the Breath of the Wild style, because you would be able to see like numbers and stuff like that, because we know about the 2v2 battles and the 2v1s and all that.
Yeah.
So I could see stuff like that working out too. And, on top of that, if they did it in a way that it would work, you could have it set up to where, like, case in point, in Sun and Moon, when a Pokemon calls for help, if you saw there was like 5 Pidgeys in a set radius of it, then it could call one at a time each of those in.
Yeah.
Might be one of those, by the time you end that battle, you might get out and not see another Pidgey. I mean, there's potential for it. I feel like some of this might be right, and then some of it's not gonna be right.
Yeah, I could see, again, because Game and Swing brought it up, and it's probably a very good point. I could see them using this remake, remaster, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, this back to basics. All right, let's do essentially Yellow on Switch and get a feel for making a Pokemon game on Switch. Then come, I wouldn't say next year possibly, but next year, but the year after, go, all right, now let's do the new Pokemon game that everyone's waiting for. Like the proper Gen 8 game that is a new region, new Pokemon, new everything.
Honestly speaking, if they did this full on hit the ground running kind of deal, it's very possible that they could even make this the way to port all the gems into one game. Kind of do as a catch up.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they spaced it out long enough too. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want it all to be just boom there, because that's going to be sloppy and lacking of a lot of things. I don't know. There's potential for it, definitely.
Yeah. I'm hopeful. Like, I'm a bit worried, but I'm not gonna write this off immediately. I'm more just going, I have concerns, but I'm gonna wait and see how this goes. Because to be honest, you're the least worrisome thing that we have to talk about when it comes to Nintendo.
I agree with you on that, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I'm still slightly worried about Pokemon Switch at the moment. The rumor that until Nintendo proves me otherwise, I'm gonna call as garbage. Just saying.
Yeah. So speaking of Nintendo rumors that we're worried about, the other big Nintendo rumor, singled out, that has popped up is about Star Fox. And how Star Fox is we're getting a new Star Fox game from Retro. And it's not a proper Star Fox game, apparently a racing game called Star Fox Grand Prix. So I'm just gonna read off these bullet points right here, because this is in relation to a previous rumor that's pretty much said, oh, we're getting a Star Fox racing game, and it's like, what? Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean we're following up on that dumb ending from Command that had Fox and Falco enter the not F-Zero League? What? Because legit, that rumor sounded exactly like that ending, word for word.
I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna call this foul until Nintendo proves me wrong.
Yes.
For the big simple thing about it being Retro being the ones behind it.
Yes. Because this is like the 6th different thing Retro's been working on.
Personally, if they are working on a Star Fox thing, I would have to feel like it's a port of Zero. Or it's yet another retelling of the base Star Fox game. I mean, let's be honest. That's kind of been the only Star Fox thing that's been money grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't foresee them putting Fox on foot again.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That didn't work well the last time. I can't see them doing that a second time.
Especially when you did it too goddamn much. Way too goddamn much. Anyway, apparently this game is not like F-Zero. The person has seen a more complete version of the logo, which the logo looks like you could have fucking done that up in anything.
Well, I'm sorry.
A bit fakey.
Yeah.
I believe the... Apparently Eurogamer sources have heard similar, so that's apparently leaving the screen. Apparently, the reason this rumor is getting credence and getting a lot of focus is apparently a lot of news outlets are going, yes, our independent sources have said this might be true. Like Kotaku, or Eurogamer, I know specifically have come out and said, yeah, our sources are kind of confirming this independently.
Hey, you know what then? We need independent sources to say yes. Everything that we've been saying, we kind of can confirm might happen.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the recurring theme here.
Yeah. Apparently the game is based on the R-Wing. Star Fox Grand Prix is a tentative title. It's a mixture of classic Star Fox and racing. You shoot enemies to propel forward and get combos. You can shoot other players too. Each Grand Prix is 3 tracks with a boss fight, where the bosses comes onto the track. There's a big hub area where you can interact with Star Fox characters. You can pick up new missions at the hub, and there's story content to go through. It apparently looks really good in motion. Retro was considering adding cameos like Donkey Kong for it, and it's apparently a 2019 game, but it might come sooner than that.
Okay. I've got a problem with points 2 and 4 working together here.
Yeah.
If someone's seen a more complete version of the logo, yet was told that Star Fox Grand Prix was a tentative title, then that means the logo isn't true. Because they wouldn't put a tentative title in the logo.
True. Very true.
It's like, wow. Way to go. You managed to contradict yourself in 2 points.
Yeah.
I feel like I said, with Retro just giving us the Tropical Freeze port that essentially was just bringing it to the Switch and adding another Kong, I feel like this might be a bigger port that we're getting, not necessarily. or a brand new game, not necessarily a racing game with the Star Fox characters. Because if I have to feel like if Nintendo wanted the Star Fox team to be in a racing game, we probably would have saw them in Mario Kart 8,
Yep.
not in their own game. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that this rumor might be the closest as to what Retro is actually working on, and it's actually something for the Star Fox series.
Yeah.
At this point, I would kind of be fine with them porting Zero, but I would really rather it be a new Star Fox game entirely. You know, like one that doesn't retell the same story in a different format.
Yeah, it doesn't have motion controls involved in it in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think we have that to worry about with the Switch.
Or some dumb controller gimmick. Keeps us in the pilot seat most, if not all of the time.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's going to actually be a thing, though, with the Switch. Not in its current state. I'm not going to say it can't happen. Just not in its current state. And the reason I say that is because really the only kind of dumb control scheme that I've seen with it is some of the stuff that you have to shake the controller slash Joy-Con for in Odyssey. Outside of that, there's not really a lot of dumb with it. I mean, Breath of the Wild having the motion for some of the puzzles, but they didn't try to implement that too hard either. So I feel like maybe they know that's not 100% good method there. I feel like going forward we won't see too many dumb gimmicks with the Switch controls. I might be wrong though.
Yeah. Yes. I would just like Star Fox to get a good game that isn't just 64 with a new paint job. Because Star Fox deserves better. To be fair, F-Zero also deserves better. But it's just not getting any new games because Nintendo doesn't know what to do with F-Zero.
I honestly feel like that's where we're at with Star Fox. They really don't know what to do with it. Because they tried putting him on foot, and that didn't work. Because they wanted to overstress that part of it. They... obviously, they want to do on-foot combat. Because, case in point, the R-Wing turns into a walker in Zero.
Right.
So they obviously want to do that, and that was the right step. If they'd went that route with Assault, that probably would have worked better. Basically, mech form turning into R-Wing whenever you want, yeah, that would have worked far better. But the problem is they kind of they're gonna have a hard time doing different things that work with the walker too. So
Right.
I feel like we've got Star Fox kind of stuck in the perpetual 64 loop, so to say.
Well, I have a solution for that. 2 new vehicles. Find new and different vehicles that you can do gameplay with.
But here comes the other part of that scenario. If you do that, then you're going to have to focus a little bit harder on said new vehicles and thus take away from it being a Star Fox game at its core.
True.
And then we fall into essentially the same issues that Assault has.
Yeah, but maybe what Star Fox needs is to not just be in a plane. Maybe give Star Fox new vehicles to play with, broaden the range of gameplay, and maybe we can move forward from there. Because if we're just stuck in a plane all the time, and that we can't do anything new with the plane, maybe we need to do something else besides just the plane.
In all seriousness with me, I think that's somewhat the right idea, but maybe the wrong direction too. Honestly, I think if you took the R-Wing transformations from Zero and basically kept that as a base, you could probably set up something a little more, I want to say open world, but it would really be more open universe, where you had certain missions on each planet that you had to do, and then instead of having a loading screen to transition you to planets, have a separate flying section where you're simply doing the flight between planets. Then, if you design the planets the right way too, each planet could allow for the R-Wing to be used, the Walker to be used, the helicopter mode to be used. Like, if they did it right, I think you could do something like that.
Yeah.
And that probably would be the direction Star Fox would need to take. Because then, basically, you would make the universe once and be able to do stuff where maybe a different threat takes over, as opposed to just always being Andros because, you know, we have to keep rebooting the same game.
We can't establish a new villain because we keep going back to this one story that worked.
And see, that would be the thing too. If you did use Zero as your base, leave the story like it is, move on with a new villain. Do the whole open world-esque type with a new villain. I think that should be the pathing we should see instead of just the whole we have to stay in the ship the whole time concept. That way you get the elements they wanted to introduce in Adventures and Assault, but you can do it in a different method that allows everyone to come up with their own solution. Case in point, the reason Breath of the Wild did so good. The reason, in all seriousness, why Odyssey does so good. You don't have to do A to get to Z. You can skip A, start with B, and still get to Z. It's like, that's the concept they need to take.
Yeah. We'll find out soon whether Star Fox is this or something else, and what else Nintendo has in their cards.
I am gonna say this: if Retro is working on a Star Fox game, it wouldn't surprise me if something along the lines of what either one of us just said might be
Yeah.
what they're working on. Because Retro doing such a killer job on the Metroid Prime series, I feel like they could pull it off.
Yeah. That and Donkey Kong Country Returns. Just, alright, you're 2 for 2. Let's see what else you got. So, shall we hear me gush about Kingdom Hearts for another hour?
Might as well.
Alright. The past 2 days, Square Enix has been holding a premiere event, Thursday for news outlets and Friday for select YouTubers and other content creators. Biscuit047, one of the prominent Kingdom Hearts speedrunners, is at the event yesterday, and he is, I believe, currently putting together a video about his thoughts on the premiere. But his general idea I got from his Twitter was, yay. Might be problems, but yay. So I'm hopeful, especially hearing that from him, because I worry more about the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts, less the story at this point, to be honest.
Don't mind me.
Okay.
I'm just making sure of something. Alright.
Because the story is going to be whatever the story is going to be because of Nomura. The gameplay is what I worry about because, it's been a long time since we've been at 2, and 2 is probably the strongest gameplay of the Kingdom Hearts series, I feel like. So, okay. Now, I know we have a shit ton of videos here. We're not going through all of them because they all cover the content. So, I'm just gonna hit some overview stuff, and we might skim through a couple of the Dengeki videos because they cover the main 2 things from the premiere. Good?
Okay.
Alright, so at the premiere, there were 2 demos available to show off. The first one was a demo at Olympus Coliseum, where essentially you were climbing Mount Olympus and fighting the Rock Titan boss that we have seen several times in the trailers. And bear in mind, that is going to be the first world of the game, because as you'll see in the footage, Sora is still in his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire. He is not in his proper Kingdom Hearts 3 attire, as you see in the second demo, which is a larger demo looking at the Toy Story world. And from what we've been told, the demo was about 30% of the Toy Story world. And bear in mind, this is a fairly large demo, probably at least a solid 20 plus minutes of content was playable at the event. So if that is 30% of the Toy Story world, and bear in mind the Toy Story world looked fairly fucking huge, especially when you consider the fact that there is only one loading screen, I believe, in this entire world, I think, that just separates the 2 major portions of it, I think. Now, bear in mind, I think, based off all the footage I've seen. Yeah. So, one of the big notes I want to emphasize right now, because I don't think any of the gameplay footage shows it, because I've only heard it through Twitter, and I've only seen one GIF of it. You have active Keyblade switching in this game. So, essentially, you'll have your main Keyblade, and you'll have 2 additional Keyblades equipped. And you can essentially swap between the 3 of them. That I definitively know. Apparently, from what I've heard, you can swap in the middle of the transformation and essentially transfer that transformation to the next Keyblade in line. So, for instance, the Toy Story World Keyblade that gives you the hammer and the claws, or the hammer and the drill, you can transfer that to the Rapunzel or Tangled Keyblade and go straight into the wand. Or the Mirage Staff, I believe is what it's technically called. And so on and so forth. The attraction rides that we've seen so far, essentially the teacups, the ship, the shooting gallery thing, you know, those rides, essentially the Disney World rides, those are situation commands, and they're probably going to be fairly specific, so you ain't got to worry about that. Flow motion, in terms of just jumping off walls, you can't repeatedly jump off a wall. There's only certain walls you can jump off of. They are clearly denoted by a effect on screen, and really it. Essentially, flow motion has been severely nerfed from the nonsense that it was in 3D. Severely nerfed. I'm trying to think of what else. There are limits in the game, and from what I've seen gameplay-wise, and from what I've heard, honestly, if you are really good at the game with your shortcuts and your situation commands, you will never your marker on the command menu will never leave the attack slot. More than likely, outside of just to activate specific limits. Because your keyblades are literally a push to the right on your attack slot. Magic is in a shortcut menu, which also includes items, so you probably don't even need to go to the items menu if you need something specifically. Limits are just literally one press up from the menu, because you'll probably be able to wrap around to limits because they're at the bottom of the menu. And that's just down over one click, and you got your limit. And situation commands are literally a push based off whatever conditions are met for that. So, yeah. So, shall we get into some videos?
I guess so.
Alright, we're going to kick things off with the Olympus Coliseum, or the Boss Fight Titan one first.
Which, the first one in the list?
Second one.
Well, yeah, I knew that, but I was going off titles.
First one. Yep, first one.
Okay. Second. Suffered. Muted, so, you know, things don't go wrong.
Yep.
Take care of all kinds of fun because, yes, reasons.
Yep.
Okay. Thought something screwed up for a second there. I was like, oh. Alright. We good.
Alright, taking a look at the Olympus Coliseum footage here in 3, 2, 1, go. And all of the footage you're going to be seeing out of Premiere is dubbed. And unfortunately, they did not get back Woody and Buzz's voice actors for this game, so they are differently voiced than what you remember from Toy Story. Although apparently a bunch of the other Toy Story characters are their original voice actors. Go figure. Well, it doesn't help Tim Allen is one of them. I believe it's Tim Allen and... Fuck, what is his name? I don't remember. But yeah, you see it. You saw the white wave effect on the walls. That needs to be on a wall for you to run up. So you're not running up every single fucking wall. And you still have shot locks. They are still in this game, but you have two different shot locks. You'll have this one, essentially Ragnarok, and you'll have a flow chain where you just go around teleporting, hitting enemies before you come back. Like that, essentially. You also know that, and those are your situation commands there. You can select through those. There's a situation command with Donald that you essentially do, I want to say, Flare Force. So much more running up walls, more going after the Rock Titan in Olympus Coliseum. And I have to assume this is probably, if it's not the first boss of the game, it's very close to your first boss in the game, considering once more you're in your Kingdom Hearts 2 attire. your all your Keyblade transformations. You're wielding Kingdom Key at the moment. That second form is a transformation you can activate that essentially gives you all sorts of different abilities and stuff from Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's just like Limit Form from Kingdom Hearts 2 that lets you do a whole bunch of Kingdom Hearts 1 maneuvers. And here comes our choo-choo train. Now you're not actually moving this, you're just pretty much on rails. Or her. And just shooting away at the Rock Titan. But I believe this is going to happen on purpose. Like it's scripted to happen, because I believe this is your tutorial for attraction flows in the game, I assume. Like this will be your introduction to the concept of them, and this is from what we've seen in the footage is going to end the fight. Like so. And that is the crux of that demo. So, the shorter of the two demos. So, shall we take a look at the tutorial story footage? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Making sure I didn't disconnect
Next video.
Reason. Yes.
I was trying to take care of like 3 different things.
Oh. Yay. Yay, multitasking.
I forgot how I had some of this set up. So, yeah.
And there's just a couple quick things about the Toy Story world in specific. Rex apparently is playing Final Fantasy 15 because he references Not Noctis and saying that Sora looks like Not Noctis. I forgot the name, but the name essentially translates to the same thing that Noctis's name translates to. So Rex is a Final Fantasy 15 fan. And there are Dissidia statues of the summons from Dissidia NT in Kingdom Hearts 3 and the Toy Store. Oh, and the blue-haired person from the leaked image that I was telling you about the other day, that is in fact a Barbie doll. That is a bomb in the demo. Go figure.
Also, ready whenever you are.
Alright, taking a look at this one here in 3, 2, 1, go.
Also, thank you, YouTube, for making it look like crap at the beginning for
Yep.
both these videos.
Yeah, I believe you're going to be starting out in Amy's room, and here is, again, the Keyblade transformation for the Toy Story Keyblade.
The Hyper Hammer.
Yep. Which you can transform into the Drill Punch. And there is Sora getting shot a bit. And the Matt Teacup's Situation Command is active, but he doesn't select it. And I think there's even a splash, like a... I want to say it's Splash Mountain, but I don't think that is. Essentially, one of those, like, 4 or 5 person little circular boat things that you can ride around. You essentially ride that round on a wave, and at the end of it, it takes you back along the path you created and continues to damage enemies as you go back and forth. Now, I don't think this video shows it, but another video shows you leaving Andy's room out the window and immediately going down into the way, no loading screens.
We've actually seen that one.
Oh, yep. That is...
Because
if we have...
It was actually one of the trailers I think they did for it at one point, where it showed that.
Yeah, there's 0 loading screen between Andy's room and this driveway little residential area. I think the only loading screen is from here to Galaxy Toys, which is the toy store you saw earlier, and we'll probably see again here in a bit.
I think at the time we didn't know if that was just for the video or if it was actually that way.
Yeah. Well, it is legitimately that way. Because bear in mind, all the footage you're seeing was captured at the premiere event. No trickery here, folks. This is legit gameplay. And there you see the quick transition to Galaxy Toys that you didn't get to see because that was cut. And you also have a situational command where you get to ride the rocket from Toy Story and go beat people up with it. And also the situation command doesn't lock up Donald and Goofy because they are continuing to attack while you're doing that. It only locks up Woody and Buzz. This video also doesn't show Sora riding a rail. If you see those rails in the back on essentially the little Gashapon machine, using the wrong word for it, but you can ride those rails up to higher floors in the toy store, and there is no loading screen there either. Which is why I said there's probably only a loading screen between the two major areas, which is the residential / Andy's room and Galaxy Toys. And a bit of a showcase of the Mirage staff, which shows off a fancy new trick that we found out from this gameplay footage. Got these badges, which are reminiscent of your Wisdom form in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's actually this, where you can create Mirage clones, and then shoot the enemy all at the same time using the Mirage clones.
Huh.
Which is a neat, fancy little trick. And more case of the shot lock command, which apparently differentiates between the various keyblades you have. So once more, emphasizing the fact that each keyblade is more than just a stat and an ability now. They all have very fancy new things with them. And here is I think this is the actual Toy Story ride, is what this is based off of at Disney World. Appropriate. And the finish for the Mirage tab. Actually, this is going to show it here. My bad. I was jumping ahead. Yeah, each of these 3 grind rails, I assume, takes you to a different part of the higher levels. And once more, all of this area is open to you to explore. All of these floors are completely explorable. And 0 loading screens through any of this, just cuts for the video. And showcasing of the second summon that you have in the game, I assume a summon, but Wreck-It Ralph is a summon. With your classic video game sound effects. And essentially gets to summon all of these blocks that have spotlights that stun enemies. It looks like they only stun smaller enemies, they aren't stunning the mech enemies. And I guess when you're done, you can break all of these stun blocks and do a whole bunch of damage.
Which actually damages the mech, I noticed.
Yep. It won't stun him, but it will sure as hell damage him. And from what I've seen on Twitter, people have found various little things that you can do. Like there's a little, like, Rock'em Sock'em Robots mini game you can do in the Toy Story world that if you win, you get a chest. There's apparently a helium tank you can hit and cause everyone to have their voice pitched up because of the helium. Like, there's a lot of different things, little secrets hidden in this demo already, so that's really cool. And, like, the gameplay looks good. It looks solid. It looks really good. I pray the revenge value system is back for bosses, because by God, is that system really, really good for bosses? Like,
But can
I
also
cannot,
be really broke for speedruns, so...
which is fine. That's fine. In my opinion, that's fine, because you have to know how to break that system in order to utilize that system. Like, you have to be able to essentially count cards in order to make that system work for you. If you can't do that, you're not doing it.
I feel like that would be something they would wind up fixing, but at the same time, maybe not.
Like, the only reason the revenge value system is broken is, well, technically the only reason it's broken is because Final Baraka doesn't have proper revenge value status. If it had proper revenge value status, it wouldn't really be broken. It's just more exploitable than it is broken. Yeah, I hope that system returns for bosses, because that system is really good for bosses. It makes bosses really fun to fight in battle, especially really challenging bosses, like Terra from Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. It all looks good. Sora seems a little too floaty in his combat. I wish he was a little bit more grounded all the time. He's a little too floaty, and that scares me. Because I don't want you flying all over the place, because I would like you a little bit more grounded so I can dodge properly. But maybe we'll be okay. I don't think if I have any other concerns from this demo. Honestly, it looks really good. Now, the one most important piece of information we got out of this premiere event, Nomura himself said that we are getting a release date early next month. Flat out. We are getting a release date early next month. Lo and behold, last year we got a trailer at the orchestra event pre-E3. I would not be surprised that we get the release date announcement right around the exact same time that orchestra event happened.
My
And
thing is, as solid as this looks, are we thinking it'll be a holiday this year?
I have seen predictions say we're looking at a November release date.
I could see that.
I could too, but if it's a 2019 release date, I'm okay with that. I want a complete game when it hits. I don't want Final Fantasy 15 with a million fucking DLC filling in a whole bunch of fucking holes that shouldn't have been filled in to start with.
Now that's Final Fantasy though.
It is the same fucking office.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy's a cash grab, right?
So fucking Kingdom Hearts is more of a cash grab because it's fucking Disney.
Nah, it's not a cash grab. That's why they can just keep pushing it back. Know that as well as I do.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason, Square doesn't see Kingdom Hearts as being a good game for them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that.
But I'm hopeful. I'll say this. When it comes out, do not expect a stream of it from me, because I'll be marathoning that son of a bitch as hard and as fast as I can. You might see the occasional stream from me playing a world of it, but do not expect contents for cutscenes, because you're probably going to be in the middle of it. That, or you're probably going to see me stream like the first few hours of it, and then probably not stream it again until... Because, oh boy, can everyone piss off trying to spoil that that fucking game to me, because you all can suck dick. I won't be spoiled, because I will not give you the time of day to spoil me.
You do know there is this magic thing called timeout / bam.
I know, but I'm not even gonna dignity of letting them have that. You'll get nothing from me, good sir. Yeah, that's all I have to say on Kingdom Hearts 2. 1, 2, 3. My bad.
That's all
I'm,
you had to say about 2? I'd hate to see about 3, though.
Yeah. I'm quietly waiting on Biz to put out his videos. It seems like the general consensus of people are really, really, really happy and content with this. So I'm happy because it's coming. And that one person I saw get retweeted from someone to point out that this is extremely stupid, of saying, hey, Kingdom Hearts 3 should be delayed so we can get the Final Fantasy 7 remake, and quietly piss the fuck off as far as I'm concerned. Let this game fucking come out, and then you can wait a century and a half for your fucking Final Fantasy 7 remake that's being broken up into multiple games, because fuck you, money!
No, Final Fantasy 7 Remake first. I mean, it's been the thing they've not worked on as much, right?
I don't think they've worked on it till now.
Yeah, my point exactly. We pushed Kingdom Hearts 3 back to Final Fantasy 7 Remake. We probably wouldn't see Kingdom Hearts 3 until 2021. Because you know Square's not going to get in a rush for the 7 remake. They're going to make money off of it no matter when they release it.
Yeah. And they're quietly making all the money on 15 because they keep releasing content. So we're not going to see even a Final Fantasy 16 anytime soon. Alright. Shall we talk releases then?
I guess.
Alright. Coming out on May 22nd, we've got Ancestors Legacy for Xbox One, Disco Dodgeball Remix for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. I Hate Running Backwards from Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. I have to ask, who likes running backwards?
Well, not whoever developed that game.
Apparently. But I really have to wonder about that one. It's like, well, who wouldn't like running backwards? Like, bleh? We got State of Decay 2 coming to Xbox One and PC, and it's on the Xbox Game Pass system, so you can play it for just $10 a month. I would advise against that because apparently it is a buggy mess, especially on co-op. Check out Game Informer's podcast for more information on that. Trust me, you're going to want to listen to it because you might want to know the state of State of Decay 2 going into that game. I wasn't trying to make a pun there, but
it happened.
Anyway, we got Everspace for PlayStation 4. Gorga? Whatever the hell this word is with too many goddamn O's for PlayStation 4. We got H1Z1 Battle Royale for PlayStation 4. One Piece Grand Cruise for PlayStation 4. Pixel Ripped 1989 for PS4 and PC. Shio for PlayStation 4. Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition for PlayStation 4 PC. Star Trek The Bitch Crew The Next Generation for PlayStation 4. Super Hyperactive Ninja for PlayStation 4 and PC. Stardew Valley for the Vita. Mega Man Legacy Collections 1 and 2 for the Switch. And Runner 3 for the Switch. Coming out on the 24th, we have Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, which is not the Bloodstained game you all are waiting for Kickstarter. No, this is an 8-bit game based on Bloodstained that is coming out for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Vita, Switch, 3DS, and PC. So, literally everything. I don't know why this is coming out, but it is in fact coming out. I guess it's to whet everybody's appetite until they actually finish Bloodstained. We got Defender's Quest Valley of the Forgotten DX Edition for PlayStation 4, Cycle of Eternity Space Anomaly for the Wii U. Yes, a Wii U release. As rare as those are these days, we're still getting Wii U games.
Some poor fool.
Hey, we're still getting Vita games. I believe it was the Vita is actually stopping production. I think. It was either the Vita or the PSP, one of the two. I want to say it was the Vita is stopping production. I might be wrong on that. Anyway.
Surprise me.
Yeah, we have Babs Mausoleum Episode 1. Oni what? Ovidivalos Don't Eat Flamingos for the Switch? What? Alright. We've got Discovery for Switch, Escape Game, Aloha for Switch, N++ Ultimate Edition for Switch, Punch Club for Switch, Zenbound 2 for Switch, and Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers for 3DS. That actually looks pretty good. The one with the... I want to say it was the Armadillo that's in Smash as an assist trophy.
Uh-huh.
That guy. It actually looks pretty good. It's a bit of a kind of a racing strategy game kind of thing. Coming out on the 25th, we have the Dark Souls Remaster for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Dungeon Rusher for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Sunstrike 4 European Battlefield Edition for Xbox One. Super Hyperactive Ninjas coming to Xbox One. Detroit Become Human for PlayStation 4. Yay! Cage game I get to watch on YouTube and see how bad that story is. Oh boy. Just to let folks know, David King games are that good. Heavy Rain is probably the best of the bunch, and it fucking breaks the one rule it shouldn't have broken. We've also got Pixel Junk Monsters 2 for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, and 7 Scarlet for Vita. On the 29th, we have Agony for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Die for Valhalla for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, Moonlighter for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Sega Genesis Classics for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Sprinters, Mudrunner The Ridge for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection for Xbox One, 4, Switch, and PC, Yoko's Island Express for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Knights of Pen and Paper +1 Deluxe-Year Edition for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Owlboy for PlayStation 4 and Switch, Fallen Legion Rise to Glory for Switch, Ikaruga for Switch, Legend of K Anniversary for Switch, RBI Baseball 18 for Switch, and Saturday Morning RPG for Switch. I feel like I know that one. I feel like I've seen Saturday Morning RPG.
Probably have.
Probably makes sense. Okay, not who I thought it was. I know Night of Pen and Paper is from a Squad studio, but I thought this was as well. Nope. Anyway, on the 30th, Night of Pen and Paper +1 Deluxe-Year Edition is coming to Xbox One, and so is Zamb Redux. On the 31st, we have Millenor for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, Figment for Switch, Lost Sea for Switch, and Smoke and Sacrifice for the Switch, and coming out on the 1st of June, it's Earth Atlantis for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And that is all our wonderful releases. Which takes us to some quick draws. And I actually have a Pokemon related one. A neat little Pokemon related one. Apparently, a manga detailing the history of Pokemon creator Satoshi Tajiri apparently has some unused Pokemon concepts from the original games in it.
Well then.
And we get a sneak peek at 3 of those and this image from the manga. So we have number 56, as you see up top in the first row, is a deer. We would not get a deer Pokemon until Stantler in Gen 2, I believe.
I think you're right.
Number 61, which is a pure dash row. Trying to think which one's 61. It must be the one next to, like, the one that's above
It's
Venonat.
one under the Diglett, yeah.
Yeah. I believe that's 61, because that one's 62, I believe. Yeah, that's 62. Which is Groki, which I assume, I guess, is a frog one. 67 is Cactus, which I assume is the one next to the Swordfish. And 68 is Jag. So, they kind of look interesting. They kind of... Okay, I think Jag kind of fits Gen 1, but those two kind of don't, I don't think. They look like something from a later Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Especially this deer one. This deer one kind of reminds me of the the Three Musketeers legendary Pokemon from X and Y. You know what I'm talking about? It kind of reminds me of them.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that wouldn't be too surprising that they would introduce similar ones later.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like, that's been a design that's been kicking around the office until, like, someone went that and ran with it.
Something that I spotted there, did you see the second sentence afterwards? Apparently, the numbers correspond to the internal indexes that result in missing no, meaning that they were almost in the game.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Like, that had to be last minute cuts kind of deal for that to have happened.
Wow, the Pokemon almost that were. Damn. I have to check out this book then, because geez, to be that far along. Like, I assume this is, yeah, that's not Pokedex order.
No.
Yeah, that's not Pokedex. Yeah, it's not Pokedex order. Is that? Hang on. There's another order of Pokemon. No, it's not. Because Rhydon's right there at 16? Hang on. Index number. That's what I was. No, it's not index number. I was curious on, like, if this was the numbering that has Rhydon at first, because I believe that is the order they were created. Is the index list that exists.
Huh.
Because I believe, what's the question? Which one of these is the first Pokemon? And I believe it's Bulbasaur, Rhydon, something else, and something else. I think it's like Arceus and... Damn it, now I have to find this question. Because all of them are right.
Out of curiosity, could you see 61 possibly being a bird type Pokemon?
Maybe that, or possibly like a rock type, considering it kind of has the kind of like bone-like thing maybe right there pointing out. Granted, that could be also a beak.
Well, the reason I mentioned that is Missing No is classified in that index list as a bird type. So a bird normal to be exact,
Mm-hmm.
and 61 has 2 evolutions according to the index list.
Yeah. Oh, the question I'm thinking of, it's Bulbasaur, Mew, Rhydon, and Arceus. Which is the first Pokemon?
Hmm.
Spoilers, all 4 of those are correct depending on your interpretation of the question. Bulbasaur is the first in the Pokedex. Mew is the first discovered, or is the ancestor of all Pokemon. Arceus is God, therefore he is a first. And Rhydon was the first designed Pokemon, therefore he's the first in the index list. Which I thought this was the numbering to start with, but since Rhydon is 16, that's not the index list. So it makes me super wonder what this numbering is reflective of. If there was something some pre-beta index list, maybe.
Maybe. But that's kind of odd if. Yeah, that's kind of odd because the 5 that are listed there, like it says, are legitimately all index numbers for missing no. Which I want to mention is just a few kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like there's quite a good little chunk.
Yeah, I would love to know more about these cut Pokemon because I dropped my phone. We haven't really had that many cut Pokemon that have been talked about.
Yeah. I want to mention there's 39 index numbers for missing no.
Does that mean we have 39 cut Pokemon? Potentially?
I would venture to think so.
Damn.
Which, to be fair, it wouldn't surprise me if one of these, more than likely number 86, is the third evolution of Pikachu that we know did exist at one point.
Oh yeah, I saw an article about that. How about Raichu's evolution?
So that would mean that 5 out of 39 can be accounted for.
Yeah. Which, bringing that up, that makes me wonder something about the Let's Go Pokemon. Okay, assuming that you're picking your starter based off which game you get, I assume. You don't have that many options for your starter, really, if you choose Pikachu.
You're right.
Because if you pick the Pikachu game, you go to Raichu when you please with a Thunderstone, and that's really it. This doesn't mean that you won't get the starters, because if it's following a Yellow remake or reimagining, you're going to get all 3 of the Kanto starters throughout the course of the game. Actually, I think you get them all 3 fairly early on in the game. Because, just to remind people, Pokemon Yellow is kind of based off the anime. Because Team Rocket are in the game. Like, Team Rocket, Jesse James, Team Rocket.
The only thing I can think of is, like you said, that would be the case. But at the same time, they might view it as even playing field because really, with an Eevee, you can only evolve it once. Also,
Yeah.
yeah, you've got the option of what you want the Eevee to turn into, but you're still locked into that when you evolve it.
Yeah. Which also makes me hope that since Eevee is getting spotlighted, maybe we get a new evolution since we have skipped one since Sun and Moon did not give us one.
I could see that.
Because we have. Let's see.
I mean,
One.
honestly, what all types are left?
That's what I was looking up. We have normal, fighting, flying, poison, ground, rock, bug, ghost, steel. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one,
Ooh,
not that one. Dragon, and that's it. So 10?
you know what might be interesting?
10? Yes, 10.
If they did a ghost evolution.
Yeah? Because I was actually thinking about this, like, where would you take that? Would you go kind of like spectral, like, kind of like a typical ghost, or would you go more skeletal, kind of cloaked reaper aesthetic, maybe? Because all the evolutions have been fairly embodiment of the type. So it needs to be fairly embodiment of ghost. And those two routes sound the most reasonable.
I could see them doing something akin to maybe like a Gengar,
Yeah,
in all seriousness, where it could still be the base Eevee, but more look as if it's the type kind of deal.
yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
I honestly think that one would probably be the way we would go.
Yeah. Although, when I'm looking at this list, you know what the most challenging ones would be?
What?
Fighting and normal.
Normal might not be as challenging.
Yeah,
The thing is, they would probably tend to shy away from that because Eevee is a normal type,
yeah,
and a lot of times people even will kind of consider base Eevee as a viable Pokemon too.
yeah,
So normal they might just completely stay away from. Just to kind of keep from breaking what everyone already knows. I honestly wonder if not so much designing, but more implementing. I think a dragon type would be a little more challenging.
yeah,
Because not only would you have to, like I said, the design I don't think would be too hard, but not only would you have to get all the design and the moveset set for it, but you'd also have to develop an entire way of how is it going to evolve.
yeah. Because I'm trying to think, none of these types have something kind of pre-established that you could just co-opt into this, do
Yeah,
they?
I don't think so. Like
Oh,
Ghost,
feel you could
Ghost
do. Okay.
maybe.
Hmm.
Ghost maybe will work, especially if we're doing a uh Gen 1 style game, because isn't the Pokemon Cemetery one of the areas?
Yes, you evolve it in Lavender Town. Ooh.
I mean, they've pretty much got a built-in way of doing that.
Yeah, they could do that. They could have it work just like the grass in Ice types do. You just level it up in the Pokemon Tower or the Pokemon Cemetery Tower thing. I don't remember what it's called. Essentially, evolve it in Lavender Town. Ooh, that could be really good.
I mean, that one I feel like is going to be the easiest to try to write in without having to do something new with it.
Yeah. Steel, I would feel like you could probably just use the metal coat and you'd be fine. Because that exists, and that's a thing.
Right.
And that's given 2 Gen 1 Pokemon Steel type. Because it gives Steelix Steel type and it gives Scizor Steel type, so eh.
I feel like Dragon would be the biggest challenge.
Fuck, what would you do with that?
That and maybe fighting might.
Yeah, you would essentially need all new items for those. Which wouldn't be a surprise. We already have essentially one item designed to Pokemon already.
Right, but I mean,
Oregon's got 2 of them.
it is one of those that those two they would have to do some serious debating on how you would go about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we only see one evolution with the which Pokemon game, we might see Ghost simply so that they can play Lavender Town out a little bit more.
Yeah, that would be a neat thing to do. Like, hey, here's Lavender Town. Get a little bit more focus because you can go get a Ghost type Eevee there. Which I'd totally be fucking down for.
Yeah, I would too.
Like, I'll be honest. As long as this game is good, I am totally getting the Eevee version because... Okay, you would have to do something really, really cool for me to consider the Pikachu one.
It's one of those. I would like to know Eevee catch rate because if the catch rate's going to be higher in the Eevee version over the Pikachu one, yeah, I'm Eevee all the way. If they're going to be the same, then maybe the Pikachu one. That's going to be a question because honestly, it's easy to get a Pikachu.
Yeah.
If you really want a Pikachu, just go grind. You'll get it.
Yeah. As someone who has all the evolutions and totally has the way of literally of just making an egg with a level 1 Eevee, because I assume this will be hooked into Pokemon Bank and we can transfer all the shit over.
It would about have to be.
Yeah. I'd be like, go through the game with an entire Eevee team, since, they all cover, like, most of the types you would need. Fuck it, why not? That's a challenge.
Well, and honestly, I would be the one to have every evolution and literally have just a team of the evolutions where I can just swap them out whenever I want a different one.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You could legitimately do most of the evolutions at level 1. Literally from the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Jolteon, Vaporeon, Flareon, all evolution stones. As long as you have the stones on, totally do it right there. Granted, you probably won't have access to it, but again, you have as soon as you have those stones, boom, there's your 3. Actually, your first ones would actually be Espeon and Umbreon because you just have to evolve them at their respective times.
Yeah, at either day or night.
Yeah, but I think there's a certain level you have to be at, but again, you have those almost immediately. Fairy, I forgot how they changed Sylveon. Post X and Y, because they changed it. Because originally you had to evolve Sylveon using Pokemon Me. I forgot.
I think didn't they just change Sylveon to Happiness?
No, it is level 2 attraction with a fairy type move. For level 2 affection?
So it was still tied in with the Pokemon part of it, where you were actually petting and feeding them. The whole Tamagotchi mode.
Yeah. I think as long as it has a fairy type move, I think you can level it.
If I'm remembering correctly, that was fairly easy. I can't remember right offhand, but there was one of the evolutions that I had a little bit of a challenge to pull off in Sun and Moon. But I think just about everything else I did.
Was it Glaceon and Leafeon?
It actually wasn't Leafeon. I did manage to do Leafeon. I think it was Glaceon, though.
Yeah, because you have to evolve it at a covered rock and what was it called? Essentially, you need to be evolved, level up an Eevee at this specific rock, and then it becomes a Glaceon.
But Leafeon, one of the trials actually was close to one of the leaf stones, so that worked.
Yep. Yeah, which is surprising they don't have Leafeon evolved with a grass stone or a leaf stone, even though that exists.
Yeah.
Once more, a mechanic that only Eevee can take advantage of. No one else requires a moss-covered rock to evolve. You know, someone was like, how would you do the evolutions? And I'm like, you literally have to turn your 3DS upside down to evolve a Pokemon in Sun and Moon. Whatever they come up with will not be as dumb as that. For those wondering, that's Inkay, by the way. You literally, it has to be what? You have to level it up to level 10, and while it's leveling up, you have to turn your 3DS upside down.
Oh, wow.
I think that was the process.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Look, it's dumb and stupid, and only Inkay requires. Some of you people think I'm joking when I say Pokemon has dumb. Some evolutions are dumb.
I mean,
as someone had to go through all of them are.
I feel like, yeah, they can do some dumb things to make a new evolution, but I think ultimately we probably hit the nail on the head, because I doubt they're going to want to make more complicated evolutions.
No, because they're all fairly simple in design.
Yeah.
I've actually Googled ghost type evolutions. Some are a bit more complicated than others, to say the least. And now I'm looking at Dragon. And for shits and giggles, let me through normal type just to see what the fuck they do. And it seems to be that the general consensus is bigger version of Eevee.
But hold on here. Bigger version of Eevee.
Yes.
None of the other evolutions are technically that much bigger than Eevee.
Well, like I wouldn't say. Well, some of these look bigger. They would think like, give him more fur, more of that white tuff, or like not white tuff, that light brown tuff he has. Make that bigger and like put it elsewhere. Make his tail bigger. Have it is it?
I don't know. I just don't feel like a normal evolution is going to ever really be the thing.
I know. I was just curious to see what people thought.
I feel like in theory that might be alright, but no. I just don't feel like that's ever gonna happen.
I see a ghost type that's essentially a mummy.
Huh. I could see that.
Okay, this flying type I'm seeing in this one picture looks way too icy to be a flying type.
Which, that's something else. Since you mentioned that, um, who's to say we have to have a single type evolution?
True.
They've introduced dual type of just about everything else. Wouldn't surprise me if at some point they decided to do a dual type evolution.
I would think that's we went through all the other evolution. Let's do dual typing as a gimmick.
Well, the reason I say that might be the way they could write in like dragon and fighting. Maybe have a special kind of like firestone or something and have a fire dragon.
Yeah. For reference, that's the one image that has all of the types in it that I was looking at.
I mean, I could get behind something like that where they could make it work. Although looking at this, I like that dragon one.
Yeah, I like the idea of what is a dragon type evolution. Essentially, make a baby dragon. That is the short and long of what it needs to be. It just needs to be a baby dragon. And I dig that. Like, nothing fancy.
That ghost
nothing...
one, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like either that or have it set up to where it's more of a solid purple Eevee. Not so much like Psychic, but maybe a darker purple. And
Yeah.
have the ears look as if they're floating by the head.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to being directly attached. Kind of something along that line, and maybe even the same with the tail.
Yeah.
I could see some. That was what I was more thinking of, but I kind of like that ghost one too.
Yeah, the flying one is a bit too not. I would think the flying one would have wings. Just like the dragon and bug ones would have wings.
I could see that one working, and I see what they're going for with it. Because the fur around the collar there is supposed to kind of reference more like clouds.
Yeah.
The issue is, like you said, the coloring. We've already got Glaceon with similar coloring that looks more like an ice flying as opposed to a flying.
Yeah, it looks that what's supposed to be cloud looks more like snow because of the coloring of everything. I almost feel like a flying type Eevee would be more centaur-esque in design.
I think too, you were saying about the wings. I feel like this. I feel like that one was probably made with the mindset of like tails kind of deal, where the flight is actually occurring from the tail.
Okay, I dig that idea. Just for the funny gif of it, of like, here's a thing that can learn fly. Because we need a new addition to that dumb list of things that can learn fly. And it's like, how do you fly?
Although, if that was the case, could you see all the memes?
Yes.
Have Sonic and Tails. Yeah, my partner can fly too. Yep.
Now I must look up that comic.
One of those.
Essentially,
One of those outside of like that. I still am on the same boat I am with the normal type. While that one looks good, I still feel like they probably won't do that. But everything else, I kind of like the designs that I'm seeing there. And I wish some of those were legit kind of deal.
yeah. And like that normal type evolution was what I was doing, was just like give Eevee more of those tufts of fur in places.
I gotta say, the only other one may be the bug. And the only reason I say that is because it feels like it's taking too much away from Eevee.
Yeah.
Like, it at least give the ears back.
Mm-hmm.
Then that might work. To me, it looks more like a brand new bug type Pokemon on its own as opposed to an evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the line needs to kind of come in, where how far can they go with these evolutions before it quits looking like an evolution? And to that, I'm gonna say probably Vaporeon needs to be the farthest stretch we go. To be honest. Because the rest of them still have characteristics of Eevee. Vaporeon's kind of that really on the line where we probably don't need to go changing farther than where we're at with that.
Yeah. And of course, of all the times I can find stuff, I can't find the comic.
But of course.
Because I'm trying to remember what all it is all head, because it has like Dodrio having its heads just be helicopter blades. It has Golert's evolution from Black and White essentially boosting off. It has Tropish, the big grass like Plesion dinosaur thing from like I think Gen 3. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
It has that like just spinning in circle. Hang on, let me get a picture. So you have this visual in your head of this just spinning in circles in order to fly. Not Trapage. Although it's close in the Pokedex to that. Or not. There's not here. Why don't I just pull it? Pull up fly! There it is. That can learn fly. And the comic has the visual of it just spinning in circles to fly. Because you know, that can learn fly. I was looking through seeing what other dumb things can learn fly. Oh, there's some special Pikachus that can learn fly. But they're gifts. Celestial one of the Ultra Beasts. That's
Yeah.
the one with the big pillar arms. That can learn fly. I assume it works off the same mechanics of rocket boost hands, I guess, and legs. I'm not seeing anything else super surprising besides, the baby bird stuff can learn fly. Like Hoodoo, go fly around on your Hoot Hoots. And Duo can learn fly too, not just Dodrio. All right. I didn't know Duo as well could learn fly. Yeah, that's all I have for a quick draw. Tommy, do you have a quick draw at all? Alrighty then. That's the end of the show then, because build this week just went once more, Stark is an asshole.
Yep.
And we're getting a recoloring of the base cross suit next week. Because I guess Ryuga is losing his ability to go cross magma. I guess. Even though cross magma is in the new narration. Don't have anything new to the opening. Well, we've got a new narration involving Evolt now. Since Pandora Box has been opened.
Well then.
That's the recoloring of the cross suit. Because I guess we have a new cross dragon? Or a new color of cross dragon? Or of the cross dragon?
Or is that using the Evolt Dragon bottle?
It's actually a different color of the cross dragon itself. It might be using the Evolt Dragon bottle as well.
Well, the reason I say that is because that coloration looks way too similar to Evolt.
Yeah, it might be that. But the dragon is different because you can see there's different colors on it. And I know in the preview, Ryuga turns the blue Evolved Dragon bottle to gold. So I guess it's using that as well. Meh. It feels weird to be...
Makes you wonder then, because if this is coming from the Evolt Dragon bottle, then is Genius form coming from the Evolt Rabbit bottle?
No, is coming from a literal panel of Pandora's box, I believe. Sento, I don't have subs. All I had was the raw. Somehow figured out how to turn one of the panels of the Pandora's box into a thing he can stick in the belt. Essentially, this box with ports to stick in belt. And I assume that is what turns into Genius in like 2-ish episodes or so.
And like when it's what convenient for it?
And I assume June, since that's when it's supposed to happen. It's not happening this month.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a duh, because it would have to happen next week.
Yeah. And it's not happening next week. No, we're probably going to get... we did get a silhouette of Black Hole Evolt using the Evolt trigger and a flashback with Vernage. At least what I assume is of that form, because it didn't look like regular Evolt. So I assume it was Evolt trigger Evolt. And also, we gotta get Mad Rouge at some point as well, I believe this month.
Yeah.
Still ticking away on that one. I don't know.
Well,
'Cause
you
there
know
is-
that'll have to be before Genius.
Yeah.
Because they won't want to do that after.
Yeah, because we don't. There's no hint of Mad Rouge next week, which feels just weird to be like, oh, Mad Rouge is supposed to come this month. Oh, where is Mad Rouge? The guy who's supposed to come Mad Rouge, which I can't think of his name at the moment, has done this month is get shot in the face by a bolt for trying to do something and like, look, no, go sit the fuck down. You are nowhere close to doing anything right now. I'm skimming through the forums at the moment to see if there's anything. Apparently not. There's just the raws for this week's episodes, which Looping Ranger, Paddle Ranger is good. At least half good. I think I'm giving this show too much slack, but oh well, I'm enjoying it. Anyway, double check the calendar and stuff. Make sure I'm thinking right scheduling wise.
Should be. Because next one more than likely will be Monday.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that, but I was thinking next podcast.
Oh.
Because I needed some dates for games. That means our next show is on the 9th, which puts it. Yep, I figured it was. Our next show is the last show before E3. Joy.
You say the next.
Yep,
You skipped a
next
week.
podcast is- Oh, did I?
The second.
Yep. So, second. Well then. That puts us right smack dab in the middle of E3. Actually, post E3.
Oh, the 16th does?
Yeah, 16 because it's 12th through the 14th.
Well. 10th through the 14th, you mean?
Actually, it's the 9th
'Cause-
through the 14th. EA
yeah.
has their Saturday.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Damn it, EA, why? Why have your shit on Saturday?
I'm thinking since EA's gonna go that far early, we'll probably do Rampant Gaming normal that week.
Yeah, because they're in like the middle of the day. Friday. Or Friday, not Friday, Saturday.
There's really no sense in us just doing only EA. Because
Yeah.
are they really gonna have a lot? I mean,
We could talk about EA while we're playing something else.
we could honestly kind of just hold them back too.
Yeah.
Because outside of Battlefield and FIFA, is there gonna be much else major out of them?
I believe they're showing off.
You cut out right there.
Oh, Anthem? I believe so. If I remember right.
So then
Yeah, they should be showing off Anthem this.
they might have 3 things.
Yes. Yeah, our next podcast is June 2nd, which will be our last show before all of the E3 nonsense. Yay! So we get to do all sorts of fun predictions and talk about our schedule for what E3 week's gonna be like.
Yeah.
Gist of it is, I'm going to be doing commentaries of all the press conferences, maybe with Tommy around, if it's late enough for him to hop. If not, it's me solo. Just like it was last year.
Yeah, it's gonna depend on that.
Yeah. which I've applied for 3 more internships and no word from any of them. Hell, one of them is wanting people from the community college here exclusively. I still threw my hat in there to see if they would take me, or maybe consider me for a separate internship, possibly, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get any luck. It's almost like it's really hard to find a job.
Yep.
Especially if you have no prior work experience.
Yep. Although, I was actually told if you've got any kind of projects or anything that you had to do during any of your college, use that as experience.
I have that already listed.
So then you have some experience anyhow.
Well, it's not listed in work experience, it's listed in a different part of the resume, but
Still counts.
it
Because it
it's
shows you've
there.
had experience doing stuff similar to that.
Yeah, I know how to design and make and fabricate a pancake maker using a griddle as a base, which is shit. Literally, that was my senior design project, folks. Create an automatic pancake maker. Yep, did that. Had to have a griddle as a base. Griddle was a piece of shit because it was like some $20 griddle we had to stick in there as a heat source, but we made it work.
As long as you made it work, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Apparently, Evangelist is really loving Heisei. I know, mainly due to O. I don't blame him. If you like O's, there's some really good stuff in Heisei Generation's Final. Outside of the weird continuity thing of why does Eiji not have all of his Foundation X medals?
I've watched it the other day. I have to say I agree with you.
It's a bit of a mess, and I just feel like they were trying to cram too much in this movie. Like, you could have cut Foundation X entirely because they're pointless to this movie. Entirely pointless.
Well, I feel like that should have been a good thing to have added had we actually treated this as a from double onward combination. Seeing as how we were missing a few of the riders throughout all that, yeah, we could have cut that and been fine.
Yeah, here's the thing. Between this and original Heisei Generations, Shotaro and Philip are the only ones who didn't show up in either one. Every other Neo Heisei era rider shows up in one of these two movies. Which it's also weird that Haruto and Tamari are the only ones in this Heisei Generation finals. And Tamari, I love the picture of Tamari staring at the Heisei Generations final poster, sad and disappointed that like they didn't invite him back. And he's like, why wasn't I invited back? Although I do love someone's headcanon up, he was busy taking care of his kid. Because, you know, he does have a baby.
Okay, but to this, I'm going to also say, yes, while that may be the case, while that could be a very viable reason as to why he didn't show up, from a writer standpoint, that's not an excuse.
I know.
I mean,
I like to think that, like, Haruto, Tamari, Shotaro, and Philip were busy dealing with the non-existent Foundation X plot that was related to this movie.
Like, it's one of those, like I said, if they were wanting to bring Foundation X into it, they should have made sure it was a everyone from double onward kind of deal. The way it was done, yeah, we could have left it out and been fine.
Yeah. And it's so weird that Shotaro and Philip are not in this movie, yet they got them back to do a magazine shoot and to do promo material for the ongoing double manga at the time. Actually, it's still ongoing right now. So it's not like they weren't in contact with Shotaro and Philip. And considering how little Kocha is in this movie, you could film a 3-second scene with the two of them transforming and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because Kocha's in what, like 10 seconds of this movie?
Yeah. Like, physically him, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, he is voiceover.
Yeah, it's one of those. There was not really an excuse for that one. All the way around. And I kind of feel like, which this is bad too, I kind of feel like the only reason Foundation X even was thrown around was only to bring Fourze into it.
Yeah.
Because, did you catch that too? As soon as Foundation X was mentioned, that's when he came in.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Really? We alluded to him being a part of the movie early into it.
Yeah. Him and
But-
Edgy, and they only and neither one of them show up until Foundation becomes relevant.
Yeah, it takes Edgy saying one thing about Foundation X to wind up doing that. It's like, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
I would think, the other world that you can see floating right above you would probably be the reason he would come to help.
Yeah, that seems more important than another Earth is crashing into our Earth. That seems far more important than the weapon dealers that are going to die with the rest of us when this thing collides. Which also makes me go, this plot doesn't really fit Foundation X's motive. They don't do world-destroying plot. None of their plots have been
No.
world-destroying.
But if you think about it too, from what we know, originally it was to combine the two worlds, meaning that I could see that fitting into Foundation X's principle, because then they could have access to the bottles.
Yeah. Which, there's another thing that confuses me about this movie. How the fuck is the Bugster virus in the sky wall in Build's world? I know they say, oh, it's obviously from another world. How? Excuse me?
The only thing that I can think of that might remotely happen would be the fact of maybe it's one of those concepts where we've just got to blame stock. Like, because you can't even say that Katsuragi Build brought it back, because he didn't go anywhere near the rest of it until after it was in development, so that's not an option there.
Yeah. The entire
Same
Kaiser
can
system
be
was...
said with Paradox because of the whole interaction there.
Mhm.
It's like that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I feel like it's there to give us a shorthand to be like, oh, there's another world out there. Can it be some crazy person investigating parallel worlds? And oh look, he stumbled upon one. And oh look, he got a sample of the Bugster virus when he was experimenting with portals and bullshit.
The only reason I say the only reasonable answer is to blame stock is because, he kind of did the big giant plot dump and
somehow
acted
Stark had access to the Buckster virus.
maybe because I mean he also seemed a little interested in the fact that Paradox was in the build world for 2 years, yet was only gone for a week. I mean, it's one of those. He seemed interested in that, not surprised. Almost like he knew the time difference existed there, but he didn't know how severe it was.
Yeah, and also that time difference seems really stupid because it has no plot, and the only reason it exists is to go, oh, we need Katsuragi as build. Oh wait, he's not build. Sento is. Fuck, what's our time difference? 2 years? Fucking Parad's been in the build's world for 2 years, and I go, what the fuck has Parad been doing for 2 fucking years?
Trying to figure out how to get through the sky wall.
Apparently.
Because did you not catch that? He was on the wrong side of the sky wall when he came in there.
Oh my god.
It's like
Parad!
It's like within that time, Sento build has managed to figure out how to go through.
Parad, you can literally teleport! You have teleporting capabilities.
And, you know, he has a link because of essentially the way the movie played it off, the X8 essence. So could he not teleport to where the bottle was at any given point? Seeing as how that's a piece of him?
True. Also, why do they keep saying that Parad has to combine with Embu to make Muteki? Muteki does not work that way. Muteki was initialized that way, but Muteki does not work that way afterward.
That one I have to chalk up to different writing teams. Because that's the only answer to that one.
I think that was our way of getting rid of Parad, so not in the full of main writers outside of Ryuga. And even then, Ryuga is only fighting a bunch of minions for like 5 seconds until the fight's over.
Yeah.
Which, I just have to go, why isn't Parad helping Ryuga? You don't need to be an Emu for this fight!
At all. Because, I mean, final fight of any movie, unless there's a movie exclusive form, they're in base form.
Yeah.
I mean...
like, Parad, you are not helping Emu by just staying inside of him for the rest of the movie. You're not helping! You're not doing anything! This is not how your relationship works. You need to be out there being perfect knockout so you can fucking help beat someone up. You have a belt. You have a device. It's like the same reason Poppy doesn't do anything in this movie. Like, you have a belt. You literally point it at Kurito at the end of the movie when he's being an asshole. Why aren't you helping?
Yeah, and you know what's bad? The gamer drivers get disabled.
Yep.
Not the Bugster driver.
Yeah, not the Bogle driver. The gamer drivers got disabled. I'm like,
that,
okay.
That should have been the point.
That worked.
That should have been the point where they let her try.
Yeah, I'm like, you're a Bugster. Just shove the thing in there and go.
Like, but anyway.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna say don't go watch AC Generations Final. All I'm gonna say is don't look at the details of it because, oh guys, they're
Yeah.
I can't wait till Dev Shinta looks at it and I go, alright, Shinta, how many points have I thought you thinking of in the movie? Besides the fact that we're establishing Build as a separate character.
Also, that's something else too. In the show, we've never had signs that Katsuragi ever used the build driver.
We did in one episode, in like 2 episodes ago, when he tried to use it.
Got out again.
Oh. Like 2 episodes ago, he tried to use it against Star to become Build.
Okay,
but that was it.
Yeah, where he tried to use it.
Yep.
We have no proof that he's ever successfully used it.
Yeah. And I think that scene was mostly to fill in the plot. Wait a minute. How does Sento have Gorilla Diamond? Why does Sento not have Gorilla Diamond or Gorilla Diamond showed up in the series? Because, that's a thing.
You keep cutting in and out, I think.
Nabbit, I think my internet's cutting out. Is what it probably is. Because all my connections are good on my set. That would be the only thing I think of. Hello?
Okay. I think it might be working.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like it's connection issues.
But, okay, another thing that I got to thinking of. Who was telling that story? About when Katsuragi tried to use the build driver.
Oh yeah, Stark.
Can we completely trust what he said to be fact?
Damn it! I forgot he was the one that told. Oh wait, no, he was telling Ryu that. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean, could be true. Could be complete bull.
Well, the build in that cameo was kind of. So I believe it'd be Katsuragi.
I'm not saying that couldn't be. I'm just saying we have no proof one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it does seem kind of strange in terms of everything. It's like every bit that led into Heisei Generation's final might be just considered a separate timeline.
Yeah, that's the problem with Build story of Sento not being Build for a while and his whole backstory of being Katsuragi. It makes any appearance pre-series complicated.
Because I mean, we have no physical proof that Katsuragi could use the driver.
Yeah.
Not to mention, wasn't it Sento's contact with the nebula gas the reason why he could use the build driver? Because doesn't he say you have to have a hazard level of 3 to be able to use the build driver?
Yeah. But that's assuming Katsuragi didn't try to experiment on himself.
But...
Which, considering all things, I assume he would.
But, okay. To this, I'm going to say, if he did, we know the effects the nebula gas has on people.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he wasn't immune to it, or when he got exposed to it, he wouldn't have forgot about being Katsuragi.
Yeah.
So, I have to think that Katsuragi build probably wasn't a thing. Meaning that entire movie is running off of a hypothetical it could have been him.
It could have been him, or it could have been Stark being an asshole. Who knows?
Bing, bing, bing.
Uh,
just saying. Who do we know knows how to change people's appearances? We've never seen him do it with the rider form, but there's a first time for everything.
yeah. I think we should end off before my connection gets worse and I cut out some more.
Works for me.
So we are going to see you in 2 weeks for the podcast once more. But between now and then, we'll have more MMO Mondays with more Warframe as we chip away at me wrapping up Uncharted 4 hopefully this next week and moving on to Lost Legacy and then to whatever else. Apparently, Gunvolt got updated to the Switch version on PC, so no more 2-screen setup. It's only the 1 screen.
Hmm.
And apparently, it'll run better at 60 frames instead of 30, which is whatever. I still need to get the jewels and stuff to get the true ending of Gunvolt and stream that. That'll probably be after Uncharted. I wrap up all the Uncharted 4 stuff. I still need to think about clockery. I have a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow before and after I go to, so yeah. But our podcast June 2nd will be our last one for E3, so we'll be doing our E3 predictions, and then the following week will be all just a bunch of E3 coverage. Yay. And it gets complicated because 2 different companies are doing their podcasts late at night. Ugh.
Yeah.
So for Tommy, I'm Peace. Get out, everybody. We will see you next time.